Okay, so hello and welcome back to another Unity video. In this one it's going to be an update video for my game, as I keep doing about once each week. Since the last one, I haven't been making any progress in terms of gameplay as such, like I've not added any new spells on the mechanics like that. I have been redoing the user interface. That's my goal right now, is basically just redoing the user interface. So far I've done the pause menu, still got to do the settings menu on it, but I've redone the pause menu. I'll show you that, it's very simple. And then I'm currently in the middle of redoing the inventory, and I've done a lot of changes and it's gone a lot better than I thought. I've had less problems than I thought I would. There was only one problem which I solved within the last 5-10 minutes, which I'll go through. This is a video showing obviously how I've gone about doing some things, as well as just showing you what I've done, so you'll see some behind the scenes. But before we start, obviously I want to thank, as always, my patrons, Paul Robinson and Phil Bourne, for being $5 donators on Patreon. If anyone wants to help support me, then the link is in the description below. Apart from that, let's get into it. So, this should be about a 10 to 15 minute video, depends how off topic I go. I say off topic, it's all going to be on topic, but I'll show you first of all what I've done, and obviously I can go into it. So, the reason I decided to redo the UI is, one, when I first made it was just kind of like, oh, this is what other people do and this would work. But I kind of thought about it more, and I've remade systems the way I actually want them to be, and I like them much more now. So starts off the same, new game, yep. So when you spawn, whatever. Now I can't actually I can pick things up, but they don't go anywhere. It's just that system I need to redo. I'm currently working on, well, one, I can actually just see I've messed up the hat's mesh somehow, but I mean, who cares? That's just a messed up model anyway. Actually, it's not a messed up model. It's just because I didn't skin it, UV unwrap it, so the top's messed up because I fixed the top of it, but I've actually managed to break it. Anyway, that's not important. Who cares about the hat? So now, if I press escape, we've got the menu like this, hell, on the side. If you press settings, brings up the settings menu. I haven't put anything on it yet. You can press escape to close that, or you can press the button again. So press the button or press escape. If you press escape again, so we close it, and if you press it now when there's nothing open, it'll be the same as pressing resume. Then now this is the big difference. So how I've got it now, it's still all the assets, like the panels, are just Unity default panels and some border thing I made. But basically it's all placeholder. So we're gonna have a map and a quest journal and the character screen and spellbook I've just shoved on here for now. But basically this is how it's all going to be. There's going to be tabs along the top, and I can always just add more tabs if I need to, but for now I've got these 5. And the only one I've really made progress on is the inventory. So I've remade the item class a bit, so now items don't have a max stack, they just have a current stack. So basically you can have infinite of an item as such. Maybe I'll stop at 999, I don't know, it doesn't really matter. The point is, when you pick up items now, it doesn't have to check if there's space in your inventory. I'm making the inventory infinite as just kind of like, so you can keep collecting things, and it's a list that goes down infinitely. Now, obviously, there's not enough for me to scroll down anyway, but the reason why I've done this is because I always wanted an item preview screen, but I didn't want it to like shove it a bit little in the corner. I also didn't want the floating inventory anymore, and I quite like this here. So we've got the nice, obviously here's our inventory, we can scroll down if we had more. Shows you the, like, just by a quick glance you can see an icon, the name, and the quantity, and it does that for all of them. And at the moment it's a bit faint, but I've given them all borders dependent on their rarity. So arrows, bow, sword, and small health potion are all common. Then the fire arrows and medium health potion are uncommon, and then the large health potions are rare. Obviously I can still do more with this. I've just implemented it, like, this is all done today basically. All this inventory stuff is today. So if I press all, obviously you see all the items, A to Z, that's default, right? All items A to Z, so we've got B, 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 F, L, M, S. If I press weapons, it actually just filters, so we only see the weapons. And then if I press A to Z, press price, press rarity. Now it just so happens the bow is ahead in all of those things. If I go to the armor, we've got no armor. Go to consumables, A to Z, large, medium, small, price, large, medium, small, rarity, large, medium, small. That's not the best way to explain it either, because obviously the large is going to be the most expensive and the rarest and everything. If we go to ammunition, this is where you can see the difference. So A to Z actually puts basic at the top because B is before F, so we can sort in A to Z. Price, that goes at the top because if you see here, price 3 gold, price 2 gold. Obviously I can change these numbers, it's all to, it's just getting the system working. And then you see their ammunition, common, quantity 24, price 2. The quantity I've just shoved in random numbers. I mean, obviously it's just all testing. And then, yeah, you can filter by rarity. So if I go to all, A to Z, so B, 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 F, yeah, price, the bow's the most, it's 282. Then we got 120, 45, 110, free 2. So you can filter in gold prime. Or you can filter in rarity, so it goes the rare, uncommons, common. I've got like epics and whatever else, just haven't made any yet in here. But you get the system. So it all works really well, and I'm surprised I've not had any problems with that. Now, instead of these words that are all different sizes, I'm going to have icons. So like all, I don't know what I'll do for all. Maybe someone can suggest for all. But obviously for weapons, I can do just like a sword crossed with a shield, or just like, you know, simply a sword slashing or something. So some simple weapon indicating thing. Armor could be like a helmet or like a chest plate or something. Consumables could just be a potion, and then ammunition can just be an arrow, basically. It doesn't really matter. Like, it doesn't have to be only arrows for ammunition. That just indicates it's ammunition. This can be A to Z, but it wouldn't just be text in a button. It would actually be an icon. Price could just be some pieces of gold. Rarity, I don't know what. Maybe someone could suggest rarity sorting, but or I could just do words. It would be easier with words. Just I'd make it look a bit better than this. Now, if I just minimize this, so the inventory now isn't an array like that you set the size of at the start of 20. It's a Unity list, so it's the type that you can add more and remove from. So if I go and sell items, it'll just reduce the quantity until there's none left, and then it'll remove it from here completely. So we'll get rid of the button and whatever. Haven't added vendors in or selling yet, but you know, it's there to be done. And this list is obviously dynamic. So if I remove something in the middle, if I removed element 3, then it's just gonna, you know, go up. Now I haven't added in removing yet, so if I remove on the UI, it'll stay there even though it's not there in inventory. But obviously that's still to be done. Still plenty to do on this. That's the player inventory, obviously quantity and the item in that slot. So we loop through the inventory when we add something new, and we say, hey, do we have it already? If we don't have it already, if we do have it already, we'll increase the quantity to the current stack. If we don't, we want to insert it. But to save having to do a full like sort of the whole list, we can just basically insert it into the right place. So we can find out where we should be inserting it to and then insert it. Or the slightly more inefficient way would be just to add it to the list anywhere and then just drop it on the end and then sort the list again for just adding a new item. I mean, it wouldn't be too bad, but there's still better ways of doing it. And as well as the inventory, I've started remaking the hotbar now. So the hotbar is it's just a list of 10 item slots, the same kind, but this is just going to be referenced to the other ones. So like, for example, if I click on fire arrows, add to hotbar, so click on slot 3, which is element 2, fire arrows are now in that slot. And obviously because of how it works, the when I use, for example, the so this is reference to this item slot. When you set a class equal to another class, I did it in the video about structs. Like, structs are actual data on an object the object you pass around with the data, whereas a class reference is just, well, it's just reference, right? So this current stack 12 fire arrows, I set that equal to inventory, well, whichever one was fire arrows. So if I actually change this to 10, I'm not sure if it does it when you change it in the inspector, but if I go to hotbar, as you see, yeah, the fire arrows goes down to 10. Now if I change it to 5 here and I go back to the inventory, it's 5 there as well. They are linked. So basically, the fact that I can link the items like this, I don't have to like move it onto the hotbar. I can leave it in my inventory and just have like assign it. So obviously on the hotbar, as I said, so hotbar, it's like, okay, basic sword, equip slot, blah, 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 boom, it's in that slot. And then if I say, actually, I want to add it to slot 1 now, it moves it into slot 1. If I put it over the slot with the fire arrows, it'll replace that, and then I can get them back. I'm considering about how to do swapping and stuff, but I'll figure that out more when I've got it visually showing on the UI. I've just got it working in the actual code as such, but I haven't displayed it yet. I'll be working on it next, basically. I want to get it so I can display my hotbar stuff. And then obviously when I leave it, I want to be able to see my hotbar. I've just noticed one slight problem is this hotbar view here is slightly higher than the actual hotbar, so it just moves up and down a bit. That's a little thing I'll fix in a second. Could do that now, to be honest. obviously I want this hotbar to be empty at the start. I'm going to write a function to clear it. So how the actual tabs are going to work. So there's obviously map. Yeah, it's going to be map when I get to that point. Quests. And I'm adding a character screen, which is going to be a big preview of the character and all his stats and what the armor does to his stats and so on. And how that's going to actually work is when you click on a slot. So let's say, you know, you've got your page here. And then at the top is where you've got all your different tabs. Then in the middle there'll be the big character preview. And then you'll have, you know, helmet, chest plate, legs, feet, whatever. Basically, yeah, the different slots. And then if I then clicked on this slot, for example, it'll then open a window here, maybe, showing all my, like a scrollable list of all my helmets. And then, obviously, as soon as I click off it, that's going to close. And then so on with this. You get what I'm saying. So we can actually equip everything we need from here. And obviously it's like its own special filter. You know, you just see the ones you need to see. And then when I go back to the inventory screen, that's just for viewing the inventory. Like, that's not for actually doing anything. All you can do from there is put stuff on your hotbar. And the thing is, only certain items can go on your hotbar. So that green button I have for the add to hotbar, when I expand on the system, I'm going to make it so that only allows you to add consumables to your hotbar, maybe. Because the thing is, ammunition is going to stay in your inventory. Swords and armor are going to go, so weapons and armor, not just swords, any weapons and armor are going to go equipped on your character screen. So also there's going to be main hand and offhand. So main hand could be a sword, offhand could be a shield, if it's a one-handed sword, or you could have a two-handed sword, which then kind of blocks out the offhand, because if you've got a two-handed sword, you know. And then if you try and equip something else that's like one-handed, when you got two-handed, it'll just unequip the two-handed. So these are all just references anyway. Like, these aren't storing the items, these are storing references into your actual items there. But keep in mind, if I then for example sold the sword, it would sell it, it would get rid of it here. So I need to write a function for like checking the update of a slot. So for example, you know, if I do sell an item that I've currently got equipped, the two ways is either one, don't let you sell items that you've currently got equipped, which would solve it. Or two, if you sell something you've currently got equipped, then, you know, unequip it or dequip it. But that's the plan I'm going for. And the thing I was just about to fix, so yeah, obviously this might seem like a mess. I've got used to the mess because I've been working on it. So obviously if I go down here, you'll see, yeah, it's not actually docked to the bottom. Ah, okay, so the actual problem is that the UI, the inventory UI, wasn't docked to the bottom completely. Let me just press play and make sure that didn't break everything else. I know slightly dragging that shouldn't break anything, but you never know. If you're watching, presumably you make your own game, sometimes changing one thing can break everything else. Usually dragging the UI doesn't break everything, but it depends on the UI scaling. I haven't sorted out like optimization for different screen types and stuff yet, but no, it actually slightly raises it still. So if I go to inventory, that's right at the bottom. Hotbar slots. There we go. Let me just dock that to the bottom middle. I mean, I can actually properly dock that to the bottom middle. Okay, that should be fixed. So yeah, now some of the systems I already had implemented, I've had to delete or rework. For example, dragging items, don't need it anymore. Don't have to worry about that. It's quite handy. Maybe I'll add dragging items around the hotbar in the inventory thing, like just to, you know, simply drag stuff along. But apart from that, there won't be any other dragging. I could actually add that. It would make life a bit easier if you wanted to go into your bags and just be like, nah, actually I want this slot here, you know. But the fact that I've made the inventory slots go where they are in the scene makes it so like you can see your inventory and you can quickly go down, move that there, you know, you're done. Whilst also being able to preview items, add to your hotbar and slot, whatever. And then when I actually implement that all back, I can get back to making spells and swords and friggin' whatever. Also quests, I'm going to start doing quests soon. Now that I'm redoing this UI, I'm going to have to work on how I'm going to do the vendor UI, but I added a test thing for the vendor UI, so you click on him and he's like, these are the items I sell, but I need to remake quite a bit of stuff. But for example, all the spell mechanics, the only way I need to bring that back now is just make them, able to go on your hotbar, and then I can cast them again. So by probably tomorrow or the day after, it should be back to being functional like it was. That's my goal. Get it back to how it was, and then start building the new systems, such as armor equipping and whatever. And when I do the armor equipping system, I want to actually make it so I can, equip the hat. If I press C, put the hat, click hat, done, or click hat off, for example, and just take off. And have the nice like stat preview on here. So I'm looking forward to it all. The UI is very, very important. It's taken a lot of time. It's taken me the last 2 or 3 days just to, my focus for the last 2 or 3 days, as well as, school and everything else, has been to make this progress, and it's been going pretty well. So obviously, as always, people leave you suggestions how you think things should go. Obviously, if you like the things as well, that would help if you gave your opinions on that. If you haven't already, obviously like, subscribe, it would mean a lot. Join the Discord server if you haven't already. My main thing, as always, as I keep saying, is just give feedback, 'cause that's all I need right now. I'm working away, using my own opinions and asking some of my friends that play games a lot for their opinions, but it's also nice to hear your guys' opinions. And as I said, in the December Christmas holidays, I will hopefully have the game in a state where I can do playtesting. I'm going to try and get to that point so that I can, through my server, you can sign up for playtesting, play the game as much as you want, give feedback, report bugs, give balance changes if you want. I mean, balance isn't really the main focus right now, but just basically point out any improvements you think I should make, or like things you really like that I should definitely expand upon, or like just polish up and like definitely keep. Obviously spell ideas for different elements and just stuff, but keep in mind, obviously, just because you suggest something doesn't mean I'm going to necessarily do it. But I have taken a lot of suggestions from people on YouTube, but obviously if 2 people have conflicting suggestions, that you can't exactly take both. But yeah, I think that I've said everything now, so thanks for watching and goodbye.